Hello, Grade 6. Welcome to the STEM Lockdown Digital School and welcome to your Grade 6 English First Additional Language lesson. Today is a writing lesson. I am Teacher Fiona, your English First Additional Language teacher for Grade 6. Hello. Here's a message for you from Africa Teen Geeks. We will no longer be making our Zoom links public. Sign up to our newsletter to receive the Zoom links and regular updates about the free digital classes. But I'm sure that your parents have already done that, right? Are you wondering what we'll be doing in this lesson? Well, here we go. You'll be working from Term 2, Week 5 and 6 of the CAPS curriculum for writing. You'll be introduced to a writing task and a frame for today. You'll read an example later. You'll notice how the frame is set out. You'll identify the parts of a letter. You'll answer simple questions. You'll plan a simple letter. You'll write a simple personal letter. You'll follow a frame step by step. You'll use an informal style, and you'll write at least 3 paragraphs. Let's review what we've learnt about diaries. You'll remember our stories had diaries in them, diary entries. A diary is a written record of personal events, thoughts and feelings. It's like a friend because you can share your innermost thoughts and ideas. How do you set it out? You write the date in the top left corner. Then after that you write in the first person, I, because it's your diary. You can even start with Dear Diary to make it feel as though you're writing to an unknown friend that understands you. All the events follow in sequence. Got it? Great. Here is your writing task for today. I'd like you to write a diary entry. It could be about something that's happening to you at the moment, or you could, if you prefer, you could write about an event in the past, or even about thoughts and plans for the future. So this is what I'd like you to do. Start with the date on the left. Start with the words Dear Diary. Use 2 paragraphs if possible. Write in the first person, I, me, my. Keep a watch on your tenses when you write. Express your thoughts and emotions. Write your name at the end. And if you want to, you could read it to us. Okay, you got that. I'll be helping you with all these steps. Great. Let's read 2 diary entries from Bongani's story that we heard in our listening and speaking lesson this week. This is the first diary entry. Do you remember this situation? He's very upset because he's out at work all day. His aunt and uncle never help with the home. They don't feed the animals. The grandparents just sit around and he doesn't know what to do. So this is what he writes. 3rd of October 2019. Dear Diary, help! The animals make so much noise at the moment because they are hungry. The house is very dirty because my aunt does not clean it. I am tired all the time because I go out every day to look for food for them all. My grandparents just sit around. I don't know what to do. From me, Bongani. Here is a second diary entry from Bongani's story. Do you remember this picture? He's just taken his grandparents somewhere because they need to find different accommodation and he's come back home. This is what he wrote that night. 3rd of October 2019. Dear Diary, I got home today feeling very heart-sore because I had sent my grandparents away. My aunt and uncle were busy cleaning the house. They both apologized and said they would help me with all the jobs around the house in future. I couldn't believe my eyes, my ears. The plan had worked. I went to fetch my grandparents again, and they also begged to stay. They said they would do their bit and never moan again. I'm so happy. From me, Bongani. Do you remember that part of the story? Great. Here's another diary entry from our story about the children on the hill. Do you remember the 4 children? And there's the little girl. We'll call her Cindy with her diary. This is what Cindy writes. 20th of March 2018. Dear Diary, sometimes I feel so tired and sad. We hardly found any food today. All I want is a mommy to look after us. From Cindy. And this is a diary entry from the ill woman, whom we'll call Agnes. Do you see her diary there? This is what she wrote on the 22nd of March 2018. Dear Diary, I feel so sick and lonely. Day after day I cannot get out of bed for very long. I wish I could get better. I long for a friend. From Agnes. Do you remember that part? Did you notice how the parts of the diary entry were set out in our examples? Let's review them. First of all, the date was written in the top left corner. Then we missed a line. After that, the salutation, Dear Diary, so that you pretend you are writing to somebody who cares. Then miss a line. Then we have the beginning paragraph. Here we are, 6 months later, all working together, each with our own jobs to do. I'm feeling happy and blessed. I'm so glad I found that piece of paper in my drawer with the problem-solving steps on it. And then we have to miss a line, then our ending paragraph. When I think of how things went wrong and how the wise man helped me to make a plan, I feel very grateful. Then miss a line and an ending. Bongani likes to end from me, Bongani. Got it? Great. Here is our first task for today. I'd like you to write a diary entry from Bongani's story by following this picture. Do you remember this picture? This is where he took his animals to the wise man, and he's asking the wise man for advice on what to do, and the advice that the wise man gives is very hard advice, and he doesn't really like it. Do you remember that? Okay, so I want you to start off and put a date, and then write Dear Diary, and write about what's happening. Just for 1 minute, we'll see how far you get. Okay. Right, how far did you get? Did you get something down? That's great. Well done. I wish I could hear it. Here's another diary entry for you to write from the children's story. Do you remember that the lady, Agnes, is feeling much better now, and she goes up to the children once a week and reads them stories and teaches them to read, takes them something to eat. And they all look very happy. They've even started writing their own stories. Would you be able to write a diary entry for that one from the point of view of Agnes, the woman? And remember how to set it out. Make up your own date. Start off, Dear Diary. Let's see how far you get. Are you nearly done? Are you finished? I wish I could hear what you've written. Great. Okay, so you have written 2 diary entries from 2 of our stories from this week. Now I'd like us to get on with another diary activity where you write your own diary entry. Remember, I showed you this right at the beginning of the lesson. I'd like you to write a diary entry. It could be about something that's happening to you at the moment, or you could, if you prefer, you could write about an event in the past, or even about thoughts and plans for the future. So I'd like you to set it out like this. Start with the date on the left. Start with the words Dear Diary, or if you've got something else that you like to start with, Dear something else, that's fine. Use 2 paragraphs if possible. Write in the first person, so it'll be I, me, my. Keep a watch on your tenses when you write. If you're writing in the past tense, make sure everything's in the past tense. If you're writing in the present tense, make sure everything's in the present tense. Express your thoughts and emotions. Then when you've finished, write your name, and I'd love it if you would be able to read it to us. But that's up to you. Okay, let's get started. Right, let's see how far you've got with that. I'd love to hear you reading your diary entry, or one of your diary entries. So would you consider reading it into Flipgrid? Perhaps you could ask your parents if you can do this. It's very simple. You just go to flipgrid.com and then you'll see this picture that you can see below. Look for where it says enter a flip code and type in A745C089. You got that? And then when you're there, click on the plus and follow the instructions and read one of your entries. That will be so awesome. Here is the flip code repeated. A745C089. Got that? Good. Now underneath you can see an image of a happy face. One of the students had this brilliant idea that she went and read into Flipgrid, but instead of showing her video, she put this image, which is available in Flipgrid. So when I opened up to listen to the reading, this is what I saw. I thought that is a brilliant idea, because I know some people feel uncomfortable actually reading into a video. Try that one. Try this idea. Let's review another type of social writing that we did last week, letter writing. Do you remember we did letter writing last week? Well, I thought we could quickly review that before we close our lesson today. Now, do you remember how a letter is set out? Do you remember all the different parts? For example, when you start, your address, the postal code and the date goes on the right-hand side. Then you miss a line. After that you write the salutation. Dear Granny, dear John, whoever you're writing to. You miss a line. Then you have your first paragraph, which is like a greetings paragraph. How are you? It's been a long time since I've heard from you. Things like that to ease into the letter. After that you tell all your news. Paragraph 2, all your news. And then paragraph 3, you're starting to close off again, getting towards the end. I'm so looking forward to seeing you again. Do you think you could come and visit me next week? Do you think we could meet for tea somewhere? You know, things like that. And then you close your letter with a friendly closing. Your friend, John. Something like that. Okay, remember all that? Good. What we're going to do now is we're going to have a little quiz. So I'd like you to get a pencil and paper. We're going to have a quiz from numbers 1 to 9. So when we started off, what was that top part called? What 3 things went into that top part? Can you write that down for me? Do you remember what they were, what they are? All right, let's go on. What do we do after that? What does that arrow mean? Blue arrow. What do you have to do after that top part? Have you got that written down? Now the next part, what is that called? Can you remember its name? Right. After that, what do you do? There's the blue line again. What do you do there? You've written it down, number 4. Now number 5. What is number 5? It's paragraph 1. But what is paragraph 1? Can you remember what it is? Right, let's go on. Then we get the next paragraph, paragraph 2. What is paragraph 2 about? Right. Let's go on. And we get paragraph 3. What is paragraph 3 about? After that, what goes first? The bottom of the end of your letter. And what goes underneath that? So there's your little quiz. 9 things. Did you miss anything? See if you can fill it in quickly. You got it? Great. Now I want you to mark your own work, right? Here are the answers. So that first part up there was for the address, the code, postal code, and the date. If you got all 3 of those, give yourself 1 mark. Good. Then you had to miss a line. Did you write that? Miss a line. Good. After that, you wrote the salutation. Dear John. Dear Mary. Then you had to miss a line again. After that was the first paragraph, which is really the greetings paragraph. This is the paragraph where you say, hello, how are you? It was nice to see you last week, etc., etc. You're sort of easing into the letter. Okay, the greetings. Got that? How much have you got so far? Good. Let's go on. Here's the next paragraph. That's news. Did you write news for number 6? That's where you're going to tell most of your news. Got that? Good. Let's go on. Here's another paragraph. This is starting to close off the paragraph. It will be so nice if you can come and visit me in Cape Town, and we'll do this and we'll do that, and you start to round off the paragraph. Did you get that right? Closing paragraph. And then what are the 2 things that go there on the left? The first one is a friendly closing. Your friend, with love, warm greetings, something friendly like that, and your name. So how did you do? Give yourself a mark out of 9. Did you get all of those? Great. Good stuff. Are you wondering what we'll be doing in this lesson? Well, here we go. You'll be working from Term 2, Week 5 and 6 of the CAPS curriculum for writing. You'll be introduced to a writing task and a frame for today. You'll read an example later. You'll notice how the frame is set out. You'll identify the parts of a letter. You'll answer simple questions. You'll plan a simple letter. You'll write a simple personal letter. You'll follow a frame step by step. You'll use an informal style, and you'll write at least 3 paragraphs. And you'll use appropriate grammar, spelling, punctuation, and spaces between paragraphs. Do you notice how the word letter stands out all the time? Today is all about letter writing. Before we close, here is something for you to do this week. Try writing some diary entries this week. If you want to, you could watch this video about writing a diary called Writing a Diary. It's such a cute video. I'm sure you'll enjoy looking at that. If you want to review your letter writing, there's a video on how to write a letter. And then the art pictures are taken from our 2 stories this week, The Kids from the Suburbs and The Man with a Serious Problem. If you want to read them online, there are the links. And the music comes from the YouTube audio video. Great. I'd like to invite you to the next grade 6 first additional language lesson next week on Monday. It's a listening and speaking lesson for term 2, week 5 and 6. The lesson involves several things, but one of them is reviewing personal recounts. I look forward to seeing you there. That brings us to the end of this lesson. Thank you very much for joining us today. See you again soon. Bye.